They are not able to pay. They go and borrow debt from CDM Bank, pay equity, and you know they will pay with interest. This one they borrowed from CDM. Now no bank will give them because they have no more collateral. They borrow from a Shylock. They pay the one for CDM. At the end of the day, they have nowhere to borrow, and they have to pay, and they get auctioned. I think that is where we are going as Kenya, because we are borrowed, and we need to keep borrowing to pay what we borrowed, and yet we are not taming our bad manners. Because I want to say that we are here because of our bad manners. Where did we spend this money that we borrowed? One of the things that I think is a big problem within the last 10 years of Uhuru Kenyatta is when we are trying to organize our county governments. And I want also to ask, why do we need all the counties we have?
Yes.
And you hear now the politicians want to increase counties. Who is going to pay for those bills? And who is going to cover for all the pilferages and the theft that is happening in the counties? We are trying to work on that. Number two, let's talk about the government. Now, because I'm not in a position to know exactly how the balance sheet reads.
Yes.
If you're the president and you need to run this country so that it does not fall, and you found it with nothing, you need to keep running it amid so many people that want the government to fail. And you know, when you choose a president, it's for your political stability. If that president does not do well, it means all of you don't do well. Now, you're the president, you need to make all these politicians keep quiet.
Yes.
So if it is money for the counties, you have to pay. If it is the MPs, you have to pay their allowances, you have to pay their money, because if they start making noise, you're in deep trouble. And you don't have that money because there was no money initially when you came in, and therefore you have to keep borrowing money. Now this cycle, I don't know how far we'll go. And I think this is what is translating to the ruthlessness that we see on collecting taxes, because they are trying to look at every short-term way of coming out of this. But then now I come back and ask, the guys that were making these policies and borrowing these debts, when we hear there is no auditing, how do these leaders think we feel? Because we are the ones that are bearing all the pain. It is people at the ground that are sleeping hungry. They are the ones that have to walk long distances to go to work because they cannot afford transport. These people that make policies, they have big cars that are fueled by the government. They sleep in good houses that are paid by the government. Simba, sometimes I wonder, we Kenyans, if we have become savages of each other. Because every time, like I'm talking now, tomorrow I get a seat to make policy, you find I've just changed.